If anyone is not willing to work, then he is not to eat either. If he just taken out, okay, that's fine, but you must gonna starve. If you have that type of man, then no, you shouldn't be giving him no food. You shouldn't be giving him no sex. You shouldn't be giving him no love. You shouldn't be giving him your touch. You shouldn't be giving him anything. All of that is food, and he don't eat. What is up, guys? Sophia here, and I am back with another video. I am your spiritual transformation coach, and today we're gonna be talking about real men, what they do, how to recognize them, how they act, and the type of man that you should be going for. So before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Okay, so the first tip is that a good man will recognize that there is value in marriage. We certainly have the trend in the world today where a man thinks that the only good use for a woman is to use up their vagina and pass them around. That is not a good man. That is a man who doesn't see a value in a woman. That is a man who wants to use women, and a good man understands that a woman is more than just her body, that actually getting with a woman and marrying a good woman can actually add value to their own lives. So I'm going to reference two Bible verses here. The first is Genesis 2:18, and it says, "Now the Lord God said, it is not good or beneficial for man to be alone. I will make him a helper, one who balances him, a counterpart who is suitable and complementary for him." So not only does a good man recognize that there is benefits to marriage, but also a good man will look for the type of woman who will balance him, be beneficial to him, and to also complement his life purpose in whatever it is that may be. That doesn't mean that you're created specifically to just follow him around and attach yourself to his back, but really a good man, even though yes, you want to be attracted to her, he also realized that it goes well beyond that a good woman can bring balance, complementary, and she can help him, and that finding a woman who does that is actually beneficial to him. Which will bring me to my next verse, which is Proverbs 18:22. And we all know this verse. "He who finds a true and faithful wife finds a good thing and obtains favor and approval from the Lord." So a good man will recognize, when I find her, I will find a good thing, and I'm also bringing blessings onto myself because the Lord will favor me for finding this good woman, and I am actually bringing more additional blessings into my life by doing so. So really there are two additional blessings for him that comes along if he gets married, and good men recognize that. Which brings me to my next point number 2, and that is that a man is gonna work, okay? A real man is gonna work. He is going to be a provider. We're not gonna get into this whole, oh, I do everything for my man, I pay for the rent, I take my kids to childcare, even though my man is sitting on the couch and he's not even doing anything, and he is a fully able-bodied person to watch the kids. But no, he don't even do that. All he want to do is sit at home and suck up all the air while I go to work, take care of the kids, clean the house, cook, and a man don't do anything but have sex with you in the middle of the night, and you think that that's sufficient. Stop the madness. Stop the madness. That's not a man. That's just a warm body with the penis. That is the really below the bar that you're hitting if that is the only useful thing that a man is giving to you. A real man wouldn't even think that doing that is acceptable. That's a man child. No good man or no real man is gonna sit up here and allow his woman to be his mama. Who does that? God is like, nah, what are we doing? Nah. And so the first thing that I want to go to is Genesis 2:15, and it says, so the Lord took the man, and he's talking about Adam, and he had made and settled him into the Garden of Eden to cultivate, aka work, and keep it. So when God created the first man and he created him in paradise, God didn't even say, oh, sit around and you do nothing and let me just, wiggle my hands and do everything for you. No, God was like, yeah, I'll create this paradise for you, but you at least need to work to upkeep it. And then the second verse I'm going to get into is Second Theologians 3:10, if anyone is not willing to work, then he is not to eat either. A real man works and a real man helps you put food on the table. Your relationship will only prosper if the man is putting in. If he just taking out, okay, that's fine, but you must gonna starve. You're not gonna eat anything. You don't even need food. You're not even burning calories. You're not doing anything. So understand that if you have that type of man, then no, you shouldn't be giving him no food. You shouldn't be giving him no sex. You shouldn't be giving him no love. You shouldn't be giving him your touch. You shouldn't be giving him anything. All of that is food and he don't eat. And so the next verse that I actually want to get into is 1 Timothy 5:8. And it says, if anyone fails to provide for his own, especially of those who is his own family, he is denied the faith by disregarding his precepts and is worse than an unbeliever who fulfills his obligations in this matter. So God is saying, if you are a man and you are not willing to take care of your own, I would rather take this sinful unbeliever over here than you're behind. You can be the most gracious, God-fearing, praying man, but if you're not taking care of your kids, if you're not taking care of your woman, then you're no man in God's eyes. All of this new age stuff where these women are like, oh, I don't care if my man, doesn't work and as long as he's emotionally there for me. Stop playing. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't say it to yourself because you're selling yourself short. You can have both. Emotional availability is an automatic. That comes with being in a relationship. He's not doing anything special just because he's there for you. And really, he's not even doing anything special when he works and provides for you. These are things that he's supposed to be doing. This is an expectation. This is the baseline. This is normal. And so when you start to go above that, that's when we're doing good. But I'm not going to give you, a round of applause for things that you're supposed to be doing. So get your mind off of this mindset that you need to hustle, provide, and work yourself to the absolute bone to provide for your man and your family and your children who's not willing to do the same for you. All right, and so the next tip that I'm going to give you, he should love, honor, and that he should respect you. This is actually my favorite tip, and I'm probably going to give y'all a whole bunch of Bible verses, so you got to bear with me just because I feel like it's so important for y'all to understand and know that a good man, a man who really loves you, is not going to emotionally abuse you, is not going to try to manipulate you or make you feel bad about yourself, bad about your accomplishments. They're not going to try to emotionally blackmail you and kind of like belittle you to get you under their thumb. Those type of men that kind of like pick over your self-esteem so that you can be lower and so that they can be higher. Like, relationships are not perfect, but you shouldn't be feeling like a complete and total dirtbag or like you are undeserving of anything when you are in a relationship. You should actually feel like you are the absolute best thing since sliced bread, because that is how high the man who loves you should actually treat you. So the first verse I'm going to get into is Peter 3:7. In the same way, you husbands live with your wives in an understanding way, with great gentleness and tact, and with an intelligent regard for the marriage relationship. As with one physically weaker, I'm not saying women are weak, physically weaker. There's like scientific proof that men have more muscle mass. So for all of y'all, no, don't go there. So physically weaker, since she is a woman, show her honor and respect as a fellow heir of the grace of life, so that your prayers will not be hindered or ineffective. And even as a Christian, a lot of times people get caught up on this whole, oh, the wife should be submissive. Okay, but that don't give a man a right to treat you like a dog or like his slave or like his servant, or like you should be running around the house and doing any and everything for him. You're not his maid. If that's what he wants, he can pay somebody for that. He should honor you. And that even kind of goes back to the earlier verse in which I said, he who finds a wife finds favor from the Lord. It's saying here, if that a man knows that if he disrespects his wife, that he better not even fix his face to pray to God. Because when he does, his prayers will be hindered. God's not even going to hear him if he disrespects his wife. So the next verse I want to get into is Corinthians 3:19, and it says, husbands, love your wives with an affectionate, sympathetic, selfless love that always seeks the best for them. and do not be embittered or resentful towards them because of the responsibilities of marriage. So yes, men take on a lot of responsibility in marriage. And in this day and age, it's like women tend to take on the bulk of the responsibility, but it shouldn't be like that. And so it's like if a man understands that if you're requiring him to work, to be a good father, to help you around the house, to lift her up when she's down, to do X, Y, and Z, he can't be mad at you for that, because ultimately he's the man of his household. He is the leader, and that is what he's supposed to do. His job is to take care of the family, and that includes you, because an act of love is a very selfless act. Real men who get into marriage should not be thinking, what can I get for this person? But better yet, what can I give? It shouldn't be like, oh, let me go ahead and marry this woman so I can use her, abuse her, have vagina every night, not come home in the middle of the night, go out with my friends and not call her, and I can do this and just treat her like she's here to be my personal lapdog for my personal entertainment. So my last verse, I want to go down to Ephesians 5:33, and it says, however, each man among you without exception is to love his wife as his very own self, with behavior worthy of respect and esteem, always seeking the best with her with an attitude of loving kindness, and the wife must see to it that she respects and delights in her husband. So I don't want to hear this excuse about I'm a man and I have to cheat, because no, if you don't want your woman cheating on you, you need to love her as yourself. So whatever you wouldn't want done to you, then a man should not be doing that to you. And so this whole, oh, well, he's a man, he has a right to cheat, no, that's called self-control, and that's not an excuse. So real men understand that they don't need to make excuses for their behavior, for disrespecting their women, and say, oh, I'm just a man and this is how it's done. No, you need to actually be a man and control yourself and be able not to do those things. So just like a man wouldn't disrespect himself, smack himself, cuss himself out, cheat on himself, or do any of that, he don't need to be doing the same things to you. All right, and so the next tip I'm going to get into is that be a good father. Just because a man works, that's great. That's what he's supposed to be doing. Just because a man loves you, that's great. That's what he's supposed to be doing. But guess what? Just because you're a woman does not mean that you should be taking on the sole responsibility of the children or the household. That is also a man's responsibility. And I feel like we, for some men, not all, some men think that, oh, just because I provide every day, that's enough. That's being a father. It isn't. You have to actively take part in raising and disciplining your children, and it's not just the woman's job. So to prove my point, I want to go into Ephesians 6:4, where it says, fathers, do not provoke your children to anger. Do not exasperate them to the point of resentment with demands that are trivial or unreasonable or humiliating or abusive, nor showing favoritism, indifference to any of them, but bring them up tenderly and kindly in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. So if you are even thinking about getting with a man with kids, or you are with a man with kids, or you have kids, he should treat all the kids the same. There shouldn't be any favoritism among this child, that child, or anything. All of the kids will be the same. And if you go with the man who is not taking care of his kids and he has kids by somebody else, then that's not a man and you don't even need to be with him. And even when it comes to being a father, yes, I think that being a parent requires discipline, but it shouldn't be a situation where he is unreasonably disciplining them, beating them for no daggone reason, or trying to provoke the children for no reason and causing the children to resent their father by the way that they treat their mother. A good man should be an example to the children. He should know how to treat the children, and he should raise the children in a way that is good by having a good relationship with them, and also to lead by example. And so I'm going to go into the next verse, and it is 1 Timothy 3:4. And it says, he must manage his own household well, keeping his children under control with dignity, keeping them respectful and well behaved. It's both parents' job to do this, but I think this is really speaking to the men, because a lot of the times the men kind of take their hands off on this role and really feel like it's the mother's responsibility to keep the children in line, to teach them behavior. No, it's also the man's responsibility. It's the responsibility of the man to show up, to help discipline the children, not to say, oh, go ask your mom, or if you're doing this, you just wait till your mom get home. You know, you're an equal partner, an equal parenting partner with the woman. It's part of what he should do as a man and ultimately as a father to the children that he helped create. And the last and final tip is to just be a man. And I know that sounds easier said than done because a lot of men out here don't know what a real man is. A lot of them equate being a real man to having 50 million women text their phone just because they want to, I guess, show other people how other women are chasing them. Or I'm able to dog all these women out and they still calling me. A lot of men think that that's manly behavior. Nah, you know, that's being a punk. I mean, it is. And it shows that something is wrong with you more so that it shows that you're a man, because it's like, why would you want to intentionally treat someone bad just to prove how much they love you? Like, that's a really jacked up way of being. A lot of men do this, and a lot of y'all might not even realize that men kind of play on you to kind of kick you and pull you down and hurt you just so that you can attach more to them. So that's not a man. That is somebody who has their own insecurities, and instead of them accepting that and working on that, they want to project their own insecurities on you, make you feel bad about it, so that you can kind of lift them up by chasing them and crying over them and being hurt over them. Men who get satisfaction over doing women like that, that's not a man. And so I want to get into the real characteristics of a man. And so first I'm going to start with Genesis 2:24. For this reason, a man should leave his father and his mother and shall be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And so really, when a man gets with you, it's not even just about his father and mother, but it's about forsaking everybody else. It's not about, oh, my mama said I can't give you no money, or my mama will need a new car and so I can't pay our rent, or my mama said. No, it's not even about that. It's not about, oh, well, my friend said, this is how my friend said I should deal with you, or this is how my friend said. It's not about that. If you're a real man, then be a man. You should be able to handle the woman on your own. He's not bringing a whole bunch of people in y'all bedroom to sleep with you. He don't need help with that. So he shouldn't need help about being in your relationship. So the next tip I'm going to get into 1 Corinthians 13:11. And it says, when I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child, and when I became a man, I did away with childish things. I love this verse. I just always love reading this verse because it's like we have a lot of man children in the world today. My son is a child. He cannot get on the stove and cook food for himself because he is a child. He cannot drive himself around because he is a child, and he's not old enough to do that yet. He cannot have a job because he is a child. But when he gets older, he needs to put all childish things away and become a man. So if the man that you're dealing with, or the man that you are looking to deal with, describe all those things that my son can't do, then he's a child. He hasn't developed into a man yet, and he wants you to be his mama. And we're not doing that. So the next verse I want to go to, 2 Timothy 3:17. So that a man of God may be complete and proficient, outfitted, and thoroughly equipped for every good work. So basically that just sums up what I said. They should be equipped to work and provide for the household. They should be equipped to be a good father. They should be equipped to be a good husband. They should be equipped to be supportive to you. They should be equipped to control themselves enough not to cheat on you. Everything about them should be well equipped enough to be a good man for you. Really, that's just the starting point. That's not like the epitome of a good man. That's just the baseline. That's what good men should have, period. And anything on top of that, you're just adding on to what a good man has. These are all normal things that normal people should have all day, every day. That's not anything special. We need to higher our standards, make sure that we not going with them, we not marrying them, and we not giving them none. No sex, no vagina, no nothing until they become that man. I want the best for you ladies. I'm sure you want the best for yourself. And no matter how single you are, remember, don't ever lower your standards. Just like that old saying goes, you can do bad all by yourself. You don't need a no good man that ain't about nothing to come up in your house and do bad with you, taking you down along in the process. All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, show me some love, and I will see you guys another day, another time. Bye, y'all.